I wanted to come out in nature today to record a video. Me and nature and my best friends, as you can see, I got one walking this way, and the other is right here. But I'm out in nature, and I wanted to really be intentional about this video and make sure that what is being said would be translated and also delivered, with the right intention. So there are a lot of things that's going on in the news recently with high profile religious leaders here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the allegations are very disturbing. Some of them, has to do with abuse, sexual assault, inappropriate relationships with children, indecency with children, beating children, and overall, just kind of abusing power. But the title of this video is Community and the Church, because oftentimes, and this is my opinion, oftentimes I don't feel like the church equips us with what we need to speak out, to be individuals. We are kind of taught that, it's not for us to get justice. It's not for us to take matters into our own hands and retaliate. God is supposed to do all of these things. And while I believe that, I'm just putting something out there to think about. If that were the case and we were solely to rely on karma, God, whatever you want to call it, we wouldn't have laws of the land. We wouldn't have guidelines, rules and regulations for us to follow as citizens of this place, of this land. So with that, I also want to challenge us to what our role is when leaders and different people are going against code, going against the Bible. Are we supposed to continue to be hushed? Because I don't ever remember a time where I was in church and the church empowered me to speak out. The church empowered me to talk about, the right, the wrong, the evils that goes on, in ministry or behind closed doors. I don't ever feel like I can recall a conversation where someone would be openly rebuked. I don't remember a time where, people in high places were called out. So I'm just here with this because it's heavy on my heart. When I saw the protest that was going on here in Dallas, I saw one African American man that was standing with these women. That was a problem to me. The problem being, we want, or we feel like, it's the angry black woman who has the issue, and she has been tasked. She's the problem. She has been given, the attitude and the sass, and she has all the negative connotations, that's associated with her. But the average black woman has had to stand up on her own 10 toes and be the father in the home, the provider, the leader, the financial person, the advisor, the person to make the decisions, call the shots, raise the boys, raise the girls, work 2 and 3 jobs. Women has been wearing several hats for like ever and a day. And it will not be until the man, the black man, stand up and protect the women instead of abusing them and calling them out their name and all of that. See, this is a whole, it's a bigger picture than just what's going on like right now. It's a bigger picture than an angry black woman. Maybe that angry black woman didn't have anybody to teach her the way. The same thing with the church. People go to the church because they are looking for something. People go to the church because it's supposed to be a hospital for the sick. It's supposed to be a place of refuge and safety and vulnerability and transparency. But if I'm honest, the church is the place that keep us sick. It keeps us sick because we don't see the vulnerabilities. It keeps us sick because there is no open rebuke. It keeps us sick because we're not being open and honest about the real things that are impacting us in our daily lives, and just for us to function and be able to, go from this day to the next. The church is not equipping us with the tools of life. I was taught to pray without ceasing. But the part that I wasn't taught was faith without works is dead, meaning I got to do something. I can't just pray and expect for something to fall out the sky. I can't just go to the altar and lay out my burdens down and expect for a miraculous miracle to happen. The thing or the reason why metaphysics and the church should be brought together is because whatever I give my energy to is typically what will start to move and shake, and things will start to happen. The same way that the church feel like prayer changes things. Well, prayer coupled with my work and my energy is what makes something happen. We got to learn that in the community, we have a responsibility to, we have to learn that as a church, we have a responsibility to the community. As a church, we are supposed to get out in the community and do community service, acts, look out for people, help people, teach people, the way to go, what they should be doing. It is not, we are not supposed to turn the other cheek. When we see things that are wrong and we see things that are going on, we got to stand. We have to learn to not be afraid. What about the radical Malcolm X's and the Martin Luther Kings and the Ida B. Wells and Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman? What about these people? We don't have people today that aren't afraid to revolt. But in this, the church, I don't care what nobody say, and this is not up for an argument. I lived in church my entire life. The church did not teach me to be fearless. The church taught me to be fearful because I had to fear a God. I was fearful of him and what he thought about my behavior and my actions and all of that. I don't want to serve a God like that. The God that I serve and the God that I know, the spirit that lives, the universal force, is teaching me to love no matter what. I'm not supposed to judge. I'm supposed to be able to call people out when they are wrong, whether they are offended or not. This stuff that's going on with these leaders in leadership and church that are violating women and their rights and, not really standing up for the woman. I don't stand for that. I do not stand for that. It is time for us to rally together and decide that we are going to be our sister's keeper. It is time for us to come together to be and to exist and to live and to support one another and love one another. It is not about, I'm in this thing by myself. It's not about what I have. It's not about looking the part. People who go to church, and no offense to the churchgoers on, my YouTube channel, live, whatever, wherever I decide to upload this video. The people who go to church and, they suited and booted every Sunday, I always thought that those people had it all together. I thought that they lived, perfect lives. I thought they were in perfect peace and harmony, with who they were, what they wanted in life. But I didn't really realize that we were ignoring the real things. I didn't learn about anxiety in church. I didn't learn about depression and sadness in church. I didn't learn about mental health issues in church. I didn't learn about sex in church. I didn't learn about dating and how to date. It was so much stuff that I didn't learn about church. But what I did learn was to pray. What I did learn was that it wasn't for me to speak up and ladies ought to be seen and not heard. That's what I learned. And what I'm challenging us with today is what messages are we getting from the church that we live by and we're teaching our kids, and our kids are living this, whatever this is. Is it a lie? They're living something that no longer serves them. They are participating and have bought into an old recipe, an old regimen that no longer serves us today. So the challenge is, when are we going to stand up and revolt and open rebuke and call people out and decide that, some of these things no longer serve us and we don't want to do them. We don't want to be a part of the masses. We don't want to be a part of the people who turn the other cheek, that know something is going on, but I'm not going to call it out. Know something is going on, but I won't do anything about it. Who's going to stop this? We have to. We are responsible for tomorrow. We are responsible for our youth. We're responsible for our actions and what we do, how we proceed, how, we give out love, how we support one another, how we stand up, how we convey the message. What will be the message? What will be the message moving forward? Now, this is all over the news. It's people speaking out about it, protesting about it. But what are we going to do? Continue to be hushed? Continue to go to church? Continue to support him, her, whoever? We cannot be supporters of wrongdoing, doers. We can't be. We got to make the change. We got to continue to elevate. We have to continue to challenge different things. When we see something that's wrong, that's a challenge. It deserves a challenge. It should be challenged. So I just want to speak out about it. I haven't decided what I'm going to do personally, what stand I'm going to take. But anyone that knows me knows that when I see BS, I call it. Anyone that knows me knows that if I can get behind a cause and if I can support something and help, I will. And I feel like this is one of those things. So we are left with a choice. We have a choice. What will we do? What do you want to do? Do you want to be a part of the solution, or will you turn the other cheek? What we're taught in church. Some of these principles, guys, they don't serve us. When are we going to speak out and be the difference that we want to see, be the change that we want to see in the world? We can't continue to act like this stuff don't exist. We seeing it. It's on the news. People that we know are being impacted by this. We know people. It's all over Facebook. Come on. We cannot just turn the cheek on this. We got to be about it. I don't serve a God that turn the other cheek when people are being, misused and abused. That's So come on. What are we going to do? What are we prepared to do? What are we willing to do? What are we open to do? What are we committed to do? If it was your child, your daughter, what would you do? That's how you get in the mode and in the mind frame of protecting my sister. I am my sister's keeper. Everybody doesn't have to be blood sisters and brothers, but we are. We bleed the same. We got to be committed to something, and doing the right thing is that thing. So this is merely just a video to just say that, hey, it's time for us to start looking at the things that we value, these value systems, and just taking a look to see if it serves us. Community and the church. That's the title of the video. The church did not teach me to stand up in the community. Yeah, we did community service, but when it came down to speaking out and supporting and rallying causes and standing for what was right, and I didn't learn that. And maybe, some of you guys did, but that wasn't my experience in the church. My experience, I grew up that ladies ought to be seen and not heard. We had to keep quiet. We had to dress a certain way. I always be a lady, that ain't always fun, but that's another video. But I would just like to challenge us in the sense that we, really ask ourselves, everything that we learned in church, is it serving us? Is it beneficial to keep some of that old rhetoric and some of those same regimens and policies and procedures? Is it applicable today? Are we supposed to be applying that stuff? Because in my mind, church taught me to be quiet. Church kind of, took my voice away, because you were looked at as a rebel and a radical, if you start talking too much and you questioning the Bible and the teachings and all of this stuff. We got to ask ourselves, is this the message, that we want to put out there? Is this what we want to stand for? Is this someone that we want to stand behind and support? Those are great questions to ask ourselves. And we have to spend some time with self and say, self, what do you think? What do you want to do? Do you feel like this is right? Do you feel like this is God's work? Do you feel like this is what we were supposed to have been doing, turning the other cheek when people are being harmed every day? Absolutely not. So if nothing else, not saying that you have to feel the way I feel, but just be open to something new. Be open to the process of changing. Be open to the process of reevaluating some things. That's what life is about. Life is an experience. And different things that we experience and see, it teaches us things along the way. So be open to something new. Be open to, reevaluating and changing and looking, reanalyze, all of that. Just be open to what may be. I would like to continue to motivate through this channel. And I would like for you guys to subscribe to Elevate Movement, L Beecham Elevate Movement. Like, share, and let's just rally together. Continue to elevate.